It's time for Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Stay tuned for conversation and information from her special guest. Now sit back and relax and enjoy Real Talk with Cindy Barber.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Cindy. Good evening, everyone. Please, as you're coming on, please let me know the city and the state or the country where you are coming from. So good to have you on tonight. My special guest is here, and I can't wait to talk to him and for everyone to meet him, those that do not know him. Please share as you're coming on. Also, I need everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Cindy R. Barber. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, I wanted to let you know if you'd like to be a blessing to Real Talk, donations, please feel free to send them to me. And my information is at the bottom of the screen. My Cash App information is $ Cindy's Keys or paypal.me/Cindy Barber. That helps a lot. And also tonight, give us the likes and hearts when we get started to let everyone know. But most importantly, share and let others know that you are here. Good evening. I'm so glad to have you. Welcome, Eric. Thank you so much. Yes, thankful. I'm so thankful. From Phoenix, God bless you. My sister-in-law, Kathy, Windsor, Connecticut, God bless you. Glad to have you tonight. And my dear friend, Nikki and Kalea, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Sharon Green, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, God bless you. Good evening. God bless you. Keith Pitts, California, God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part. Also, if you are interested in advertising with Real Talk, send me some information. I need a copy of your flyer, and I would be glad to advertise while we're on Real Talk. And you can send your information. You can inbox me if you want on Facebook. Also, or you can send me an email, Ms. Cindy Barber @gmail.com. And those that are watching on YouTube, welcome. Welcome, my YouTube viewers. Welcome. I'm so delighted to have you with me on tonight. I hope everyone had a blessed Sunday and a blessed day. The song you're listening to in the background is Henry Jackson, I'm So Thankful. This is one of my favorite songs. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to him. Lynn Reed from Ardmore, bless you. Thank you for being on tonight. Please share and let everyone know that we are here. We are here and my guest is here. Don't forget, if you're interested in advertising on Real Talk with Cindy, an event that you may have coming forth, please email me, ms.cindybarber@gmail.com, or you can inbox me. Good evening, Pastor Lois Alexander. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Everyone that's coming on, I see you. God bless you. God bless you. And thank you so much. So as we come on, I want you to like and share and let other people know that we are here. I am going to bring on my guest. This is Dr. Henry Jackson. Welcome, Dr. Jackson. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you with me tonight. And I just look forward to, she says, I am one of Dr. Jackson's vocalists at Ward AME Church, Los Angeles.
Okay. Kaleo, yes.
Yes. And this is my aunt all the way from Greenville, South Carolina. Welcome, Auntie Sue. So we want to get started with everyone knowing as to who you are. There's a lot of people that do know you, but let's get started with, when did you begin your music career, when you began singing? How old were you when you began singing?
Well, actually, I didn't sing as a boy.
Okay.
I basically just played the piano. I grew up playing in churches, and
Okay.
I didn't really start trying to sing until my senior year in high school. And it was just kind of, I took the class as an elective. But it wasn't until I really moved to Los Angeles in 1968
Wow.
that I start trying to sing.
Okay.
To stand and sing. And I got with a group called the Los Angeles All-Stars. And Sherwood Sledge was my mentor. If I don't mention his name, he gets angry. So I'm mentioning his name.
Right.
He was my mentor with the group called the Los Angeles All-Stars. And that's where I started singing. And then on to the Los Angeles Community Choir.
Okay.
Which really started my career with Harrison Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I started out with Harrison. My first recordings were with the LA Community Choir.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Kalea Irvin says, tell Henry, Nikki from Corporation and Calvin Rome's Church says hello.
Hi, Nikki.
Yes. So tell us some of the artists that you have worked with and songs that you have written, or songs that you have written to a lot of different artists, because it's a plethora of different ones that you have worked with.
Well, let's see who's recorded some of my music. Milton Brunson and the Tommies.
Oh.
Reverend Maceo Woods and Christian Tabernacle.
Yes.
Father Charles Hayes and Cosmopolitan. And of course, the Los Angeles Community Choir. The LA chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop.
Wow.
Cassetta George.
Yes.
That's all I can think of right now.
Right. Well, how did that come into play when you were working with, you said a Gospel Music Workshop, and how did that, when you were writing these songs, how did they know that you were writing them? How did they know to really contact you to ask for your songs?
Well, here in Los Angeles, Dr. Rodina Preston was the chapter representative, and she was aware of me from being here with the LA Community Choir. And once I started writing there, my songs took hold. And Dr. Preston, she asked me to submit songs to the workshop. So I started submitting, and I was fortunate enough to get one or two songs recorded with them.
Wow.
So that's how that came about.
Oh, okay. And Eric would like to know, what was Dr. Jackson's first composition?
Hello, Eric, my good friend. I think, as I look back, my very first song was Nothing Can Turn Me Around.
Oh, okay.
Which we recorded on the Los Angeles Community Choir's album.
Right.
I think that was the first one. And then after that, it was Help Us Master.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. How long did you work with the choir?
With Harrison, I was with them for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from 1968 to 1971,
Wow.
when the album was released
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah.
the Nashboro label.
Mm-hmm. And with you said the Los Angeles Community Choir, you worked with them too.
Oh yes, that's where it all started for me.
Okay. How long were you with them?
I was with them for 3 years. I did two albums with them, with Harrison. And the second album is the album that catapulted me into national prominence because I had several songs on that album.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's the album you just played. I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
It was first recorded with Harrison, and then when you heard that was a re-recording with the Henry Jackson Company that you played.
Right. Yes. So let's talk about Henry Jackson and Company. So how did you start them?
You know, I really didn't start the group. God started it.
Okay.
I'll tell you how that happened. I had moved away. I had left the choir, and I had moved back to my hometown of San Francisco.
Okay.
And Brother Charles May, the son of the late great Brother Joe May,
right,
he and his sister was doing a recording. And he asked me, he wanted some singers. He wanted, because he liked the sound of the LA Community Choir.
Oh, yes.
And I told him at that time, most of those singers had left. They were no longer in the choir. But I gave him the numbers of some of the singers who I knew were no longer with the choir.
Okay.
To do the background. Well, they did the background to this album, but the producer, Dave Clark, who was the producer at Stax Records for the Gospel Truth label, he heard them and he liked the sound and he wanted to record them. They told him, well, we're not a group. Henry just put us together to do this background. But we're not a group. We don't have nothing. So they told him to contact me.
Really?
Which he did. And he called me and said, if you would come back to Los Angeles, I have a record contract for you. If you would come back, organize this group and write some music. I said, okay. The Lord was working. So I accepted the offer and I moved back to Los Angeles and organized the Henry Jackson Company. Wow. And that's how that got started.
How many singers did you have?
8.
Okay.
8. Six females and 2 males.
Okay.
They were some great singers.
Yeah.
I mean, really. As I said, God put the group together, and I'm grateful to God for him giving me singers who could interpret the songs that he was giving me. Yeah. And I would write for their voices. When I'm writing songs, I could hear their voices in my head.
Right, right.
And it was just perfect. When I would teach it to them, the songs were perfect to fit their voices.
Wow.
And, it was a joy.
But it's so important too for directors to know the people that are singing with you, to know the voice style. So it helps be able to write, for them, for the group, the sound that you want. But if you don't really know the background vocals, what kind of vocals that you have, it's kind of hard to do that.
You're right. They were some fantastic singers. I love them. They know I love them, and I still do.
Yeah.
Several have gone on. They have transitioned.
Yeah.
They're no longer here, but there's, I think 5 of them are remaining.
It remains.
And, I love them. We get together sometimes.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. Someone is commenting here. Did Dr. Jackson mention that he was director of Brooklynians Gospel Choir at the historic First African Methodist Episcopal Church of Los Angeles for 10 years?
Yes, I love that's my choir, my former choir. We recorded together back in 2017. The album, many of the songs are on YouTube. But Satan got busy.
Yeah.
And, he does that when you're trying to do something for the good.
Mm-hmm.
He got busy, and we never released that product at all. But I was with that choir for 10 years. Probably the best choir that I ever had. They were wonderful.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I still love them. They love me. Some of them still love me too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
How many albums have you recorded?
3, 4, 5. 5.
5. Okay.
Well, I don't count the one with Harrison. That's the Harrison Johnson LA Community Choir. That's one. Then I did 3 with the company, the Henry Jackson Company, and then I've done 2 solo albums.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
My first solo album, my second solo album was a live recording. It was on the Savoy label. I don't even know if you're aware of it, because it was pulled off the market. I'll put it like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. I had issues with the record company, and they, but most of it's all on YouTube now. You can find the music.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah.
And the live version of I'm So Thankful, you should check out the live version. It's wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You will love it.
Yes. Because I love I'm So Thankful. I'm telling you, I know.
You told me that, so I know you would enjoy the live version.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. Because your sound was unique, and it was just a great sound that you had. And the writing was really great too. Your songs were very good.
I appreciate that. I don't know my sound. People tell me that I have a sound, but I don't really know the sound, but I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it's a nice sound. Very nice. Yeah. Now let's talk about your work with Cassetta George. So let's, talk about that. You accompanied her. You were her accompanist for about 20-something years.
Yes. Okay.
I
love Cassetta.
How did you meet Cassetta George?
When I first moved to Los Angeles, a friend of mine was a friend of hers, and he told me he was going to take me over to meet Cassetta George, and I was all excited, And, so because one of the caravans, I grew up listening to this lady, and of course her big hit "Walk Around Heaven,"
Yeah, right.
So I went to her house and met her, and my friend told her that I could play and that I sang. So she asked me to sing something, to play something, and I was so nervous.
I bet.
and so I did. I don't even remember what I sang or what I played, but she told me, I'll never forget these words. She said, "You don't even know that you can sing." She said, "But stay like that, because God can use you that way.
Right.
You don't get puffed up in yourself. Just be humble." I remember her telling me this. And sometime later, she called me on I guess it might have been a Saturday night. Her musician had flaked for some reason. She had an engagement. She was in Oakland, California. And she had a program to do that afternoon. And she called me and asked if I could fly up and help her with her concert. We had a rehearsal over the telephone. And I said, "Okay, I'll be there tomorrow to meet her." And I flew up to Oakland the next day, went and did the concert, and the Lord blessed us. Really, she had a wonderful concert. And that was the beginning. After that, she always wanted me to play for her. She didn't want anybody else. I became a musician that day.
Where did you guys travel to? Some of the places overseas as well?
We never went overseas, but we traveled all over the South. She had a lot of engagements throughout the South. And one of the things I love, and I'm writing a book too. I'm trying to put together a biography of my life and my music. But I remember going to Chicago with her, and we stayed at Albertina's house. And this was a joy of mine. Every morning, I was there for about 4 days, but I would sit up and drink coffee and talk with Tina at the kitchen table in the morning.
Wow.
She was the most wonderful woman. That was a highlight of my life. Being with the great Albertina Walker and Cassetta George at the same time. And I enjoyed her so much. And I'll say this because one day, because Cassetta was in town, the other caravans came over. They wanted to come over and be with, Cassetta, their sister. She was in town. So Inez Andrews came, Dorothy Norwood came, Dolores Washington came over, and Gloria Griffin. And they were all visiting. And then they decided they wanted to sing.
Sing. Yeah.
My God.
Wow.
There I am playing for all these great legends of gospel music. I would have never thought God would have brought me to that day.
Yeah.
And I never shall forget that.
Wow.
So from then on, I got to know all the caravans pretty well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. It's amazing. And playing for her, what did that really feel like? Was it different each time you went to different places to sing? With her, with Cassetta George?
Yes, I learned a lot from her. She loved to sing hymns. And when we would go to, and her work was in mostly churches, and we would travel throughout the South, and she would sing at various churches. And I watched how she worked as an artist. She taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And she would always tell me, love your people. And if you love your people, they will love you back. I remember one time, her last performance was in Detroit for Aretha. Aretha was giving a memorial birthday celebration to her father. And that was the day that I found out that Cassetta was terminally ill. She had not told me before that day.
Oh, okay.
I knew she was sick, and she, but she tried not to show it. And I told her that day, after I found out her condition, I told her, I said, Cassetta, and don't worry, I'll sing for you. I will cover you. I said, all the people want to hear you sing is Walk Around Heaven. So you can just hit a couple of things before then, and I will help. I will cover you, And then when you sing Walk Around Heaven, that's what Aretha wanted to hear anyway. That's what the rest of the people wanted to hear. And sure enough, the Lord blessed us that day. They blessed her through all of her illness. She was able to complete that program. But she never sang again after that.
Oh, really?
I shall always remember that day.
Yeah, I'm sure. And also, you've performed with other artists, like, of course, you said Albertina Walker, the Caravans, Shirley Caesar. And who else do you remember? Some of the other ones that you have performed with?
Dorinda Clark. Who else? Of course, I was a Cleveland singer too. Were you aware of that?
Okay.
I traveled all over the country with James Cleveland as one of the James Cleveland singers.
Oh, okay.
That's a little known fact because I didn't stay with him that long, but I did record with him. The God Specializes album, James Cleveland and Cleveland Singers. I'm on that album, and I'm singing the song "Give Yourself to Jesus."
Oh, okay.
So I traveled with him too and sang with him. Let me see. aside from Harrison Johnson. And this is another little known fact that people don't know.
Okay.
I was with Gertrude Ward too, as one of the male Ward singers.
Mm.
You never heard of him, huh?
No.
I'm giving you history today.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we traveled a few cities up and down the East Coast as the male Ward singers with Madam Gertrude Ward.
Really?
That was quite an experience.
Wow.
Working with Gertrude Ward and Clara Ward too, before she passed, of course.
Mm. And quite an
So
experience.
so many people.
Mm-hmm. And what other bit of history you can share with us?
Oh, history. I don't know right off the top of my head. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Of course, you know I was raised in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
Right.
And I think I met Walter Hawkins. We were both teenagers when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And we developed a friendship over the years. And of course, Tremaine, I
Yeah.
love Tremaine.
Yeah.
I used to go over to Ephesian Church of God in Christ every Sunday night
Mm-hmm.
to their broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Which is how I got to meet a lot of them. I
Mhm.
love Bishop Yvette Flunder.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mother Shirley, I love her too.
Mm-hmm.
Who's some history? History is hard to think. If I
Mm-hmm.
think of something, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
If you have
okay.
any other questions.
And this person said, I attended Cassetta George's last performance in Detroit.
That's Jay Hemingway. He was playing for the Barrett sisters on that program.
Really?
It was the Barrett sisters,
Mm-hmm.
the Williams brothers,
Mm-hmm.
the Clark sisters, Cassetta George. And
Wow.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Wow. Jay Hemingway. And this person is saying, didn't Reverend Cleveland produce one of Dr. Jackson's albums?
Yes, he produced the live album. It's called James Cleveland produces a portrait.
Mhm.
James Cleveland presents a portrait of Henry Jackson.
Oh.
That's when I was on Savoy. James Cleveland signed me to Savoy,
Mm-hmm.
and he produced that live album that I did on Savoy.
Wow. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Keith Pitts says, are you planning to perform in concert soon?
I hope so. I really hope so. But, because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
everything shut down. The churches, nobody was presenting or doing anything very much.
Yeah.
But I'm hankering to perform. I haven't performed in so long.
Yeah. It's been a while. And I'm sure you're going to get back to it.
I do.
2022 is coming, and I'm sure you'll be able to get back, to.
Oh, yeah. The Lord He will provide.
Yeah, he definitely will.
Yeah.
Yes. And also, and with your book, that's going to be great with all that history.
Yes. I'm excited about my book.
It's needed. How important do you think it is for young people to know about history, gospel music history?
I think it is very important. I know how I was as a young boy.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with this thing called gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 12, 13 years old, I remember my mother bought me a hi-fi, little portable hi-fi player, record player.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran over to Berkeley because we couldn't get any gospel records or anything in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran over to Reach Records in Berkeley, and I bought my first album. Was of the famous Davis Sisters.
Oh, okay.
Did not believe it, and that was the music I grew up on. I tried to learn to play like Curtis Dublin, their musician, and all of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little bit of history about me.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I never was a singer when I was growing up.
Right.
And I didn't grow. I played piano, and I had choirs in San Francisco and churches I played for.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to sing. So I played for this church called Emmanuel Baptist Church. And I know some of them are looking and listening now. But what they don't know is late at night, I had keys to the church. I would go down to the church and I would just sing my heart out, trying to learn to do this. And I did that for a long time. People never knew.
Oh, wow.
And that was me trying to teach myself and learn how to sing.
How to sing.
I had friends who used to make fun of me. One friend who used to sing with the Edwin Hopkins singers, he's gone on now. He would tell me, listen, don't you try to sing. Just play the piano, because that little puny voice of yours, it ain't worth listening. So, so after the Lord blessed me to start recording and singing, I went back to him and I said, you remember when you told me I couldn't sing? You know what he said? Well, you couldn't sing then. You can sing now.
Wow. He had to get out of that.
He was funny to me, bless his heart. He's gone on. He's sleeping with the angels now.
Wow. And Francis James says, what is the projected date for your book?
In the spring, Francis. I know Francis. She's a wonderful singer too.
Wow. That's great. And Pastor Alexander says, Dr. Jackson is being humble. So appreciated. He has performed with Andre and Sandra Crouch, the Hawkins, Natalie Cole, Dionne Warwick, Richard Smallwood, Patti LaBelle, Jermaine Hawkins, Rance Allen. That's some good company. And that is so true.
It is true.
Thank you, Pastor, for sharing that.
True.
Wow.
True.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Pastor. That's true. I tend to forget, I
understand.
I work with all of them.
And someone off of YouTube says, I love you, Dr. Henry Jackson. It's because of you I'm the great songstress that I am today. I love you always.
I don't know Samela Washington, but thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Quite a compliment.
Yes, it is. I work with a lot of things, and I thank God for the gift of working with voices. I've been able to work with some people that I've developed into, like she said, really good songsters.
Yeah. I think you're breaking up a little bit with your voice.
Maybe I'm moving around too much.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I wanted to ask you too, what is your take on the music industry today? Is quite different from when it was years ago when you were recording with Savoy and different record labels. Well, what's your take on the music industry? We lost him, and I will try to get him back. I'm so glad for all of you that are coming on and that are asking questions. Here he is. Dr. Jackson, can you hear me?
I seem like I lost you.
Yeah, I hear you a little bit, but it's breaking up. Can you hear me again? Can you hear me?
Well, there you are.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. Can you say something?
I see you. Maybe I can speak louder and you hear me?
It must be your microphone on your device. I think it's your microphone on your device.
Okay. Let me see.
It's a little better now. Can you say something? And then I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're okay now?
Yes, you're fine now.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Now, what I was saying is with the music industry today and how it was years ago, can you shed some light on that? Because it's quite different today as it was yesterday or
sure.
Years ago.
Let me say this. Everything must change.
Yeah.
Nothing and no one stays the same. That's a
Right.
famous line. Gospel music that I grew up on, of course, is different today. The music was different before me. way back in the day, the music in Thomas Dorsey's time,
Right.
the music was different. It changed in my generation. Now the music today is this generation's music. Do I like most of it? No, I don't. But I defend the right of young people to express the music as God gives it to them.
Right.
And that's the thing. We have to acknowledge young people hear things differently than we do. And I don't like some of the lack of what should I say, conviction that I hear in the music, which is different than back in the day. Like I've heard Inez Andrews say, she never thought she was supposed to get paid to sing. She never got paid until she got in the caravans.
Wow.
So today, you know, they expect big money to sing, gospel artists, and they're getting big money.
Right.
I don't have no problem with that.
Right.
So, you know,
yeah, right.
That's just my take on it. I like some of the music. I don't really like rap, but
right. And like we say, to each his own, and you know, but it's quite different. She says here, Dr. Henry Jackson, the Thomas family of North Carolina, we love you. Happy Thanksgiving from your hairstylist, Patrice Thomas.
Yes, that's Patrice. Yeah. Love you, girl.
And Pastor Alexander said, the lack of conviction is missing.
See,
yes.
That's what I found. They're just singing. It's not coming from the heart. People, just sing. If you ask me who is my favorite singer today, I do not have one of the generation, today's generation. I just don't have one.
Right. It's different. And I think it's so important that we do, like I said, share history with them for those that are interested in learning. There are, several things. I know they have, I think it was something, I don't know if it's in Tennessee. I know Dr. Bobby Jones was trying to do a museum or something. I'm not sure if that's completed or not. It may be. And also, I know Bishop Hezekiah Walker is offering classes at a university in Virginia to go over to talk about the industry and different history. So I think it's important, the more we can get it out and make it available to young people, even older people that may not know, I think it would be vital to be able to do that.
Yes.
So I love the history of gospel music.
I got a call this just a little while ago, an invitation for Thanksgiving dinner at Annette Mae Thomas's home. That's the daughter of Brother Joe May.
Really?
And yes, she just called to invite me to Thanksgiving dinner, which I'm going to go and share with her.
Wow.
And that's history. She has so much history. When we sit and talk, I listened to her talk about the times when she was traveling with her father, Brother Joe May, back in the early 50s or whatever. And he was the Mahalia Jackson counterpart back in that time.
Wow.
So see, things have changed.
Yes. Yes, they have. They really have changed. What is your take as far as choirs in the church, or being able to have choirs in the church?
I think choirs are essential because that's synonymous with church worship service. Now, granted, some of the music, some of the directors pick for Sunday worship is inappropriate.
Yeah.
For instance, I mean, I love the song, Kirk Franklin's song, Stomp. I love that song. But I don't think it's appropriate for Sunday morning worship. It's good for performance.
Absolutely.
So there are other songs like that are very good. But I don't think they're for worship.
Right.
Just for performance. They're not bad songs. Charles May wrote a song that the lyric says, "What good is a song if it can't inspire? What good is a song if it has no message to bring? If the song cannot take you higher, then it's not good enough to sing." I love that. because every song should have a message.
That's true.
You should be able to feel something from it.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Now you have your doctorate degree in music.
And sacred music, it's honorary doctorate from
Mm-hmm.
Bible Believers Christian College and Seminary here in California.
Wow. Congratulations. That's a
Thank you. I was very honored to receive it.
mm-hmm. Quite an honor. What advice would you be able to give to singers who enjoy singing or interested maybe in starting a group or, may not want to just be like on a praise team, but are interested in maybe starting a group? What advice could you give to them?
Starting a group. Well, you have to first decide what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can find singers who support your vision,
Yeah.
Then that's a way to start. So if
Right.
you don't have a vision, the Bible says without a vision, the people perish.
That's right.
So you have to have a vision and find the right people. As I said earlier, I didn't start out to start the Henry Jackson Company. God put that group together.
Right.
And but I'm so thankful. There I go. I'm just thankful that I had that group of singers. Now, somebody today, if you can find singers that, like I said, agree with your vision and you can work with,
Mm-hmm.
yes, by
Mm-hmm.
all means, do it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And staying prayerful and asking God for direction.
Oh, absolutely. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
As my mother used to always tell me, put God first.
Yeah.
As the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, or
Mm-hmm.
the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be
That's
added unto you. So
mm-hmm.
if you put your focus on God,
Mm-hmm.
He'll add the increase.
Right. Absolutely. And also a person that's watching and interested in becoming a songwriter, what advice could you give to them?
Ooh, songwriter.
Yeah.
Hopefully your songs will be inspired
Mm-hmm.
because what's from the heart reaches the heart.
Yeah.
So when you attempt to write a song,
Mm-hmm.
if you can feel it, then someone else can feel it.
Right.
So I would say, especially if you're writing Christian music,
Yeah.
you really have to keep the focus on God
Mm-hmm.
and ask Him to give you what He wants to give you,
Right.
not what you just want to do. I as a songwriter, there are times when I have been at the piano
Mm-hmm.
and God starts giving me a song and I become like the third person. In other words, I can see my hands moving and my fingers playing, but I'm not in control.
Yeah.
And then after it's all over, it's like a relief. And I'm like, Lord, I know nothing but divine inspiration.
Right.
It's like a supernatural feeling, supernatural moment when the Lord starts working through you. And to you writers who are writing Christian music, always ask God to give it to you. Ask Him. If you get an idea, then it's good to nurture it, nourish it, but ask God to give you what to say.
Right. Absolutely. Now, Jay Hemingway mention your classical training background.
Yes. I God just gave me the music, first of all. I can remember at maybe 5 years old, sitting at the kitchen table with my legs dangling, and I'm banging on the table like I'm playing the piano.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first indication to my mom that maybe there was something going on with me
Right.
in the music arena. And every time I would run to church, the first thing I would do was run to the piano as a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this old deacon telling my Sister Jackson, you better get that boy music lessons because one day he's going to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, she waited until I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started taking piano lessons from a private teacher.
Okay.
And he was teaching me. I learned classical piano. I was learning classical music. He did not like gospel, and he didn't like for me to play it. But I would still play it because it was in my heart. But I wouldn't play it around him.
Right.
But he trained me in classical piano. For 8 years, I studied with him.
Wow.
And then for 2 years after that, after he felt like I was ready to go on, he sent me to the San Francisco Music and Arts Institute for classical piano.
Wow.
And that's how I learned classical piano. I don't play it now, but I loved it. I still love classical music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had classical training. People have told me they can hear that influence in my writing, the classical influence. And like I said, I don't know my style. You might know it, but you know.
Yeah. Wow. But all the training and stuff, it comes together and you can hear it. I know even like with Richard Smallwood, when you hear his music, you hear the classic.
Right. I love Richard Smallwood.
His sound.
Yeah.
And nothing like Richard Smallwood, you know, so everybody has their own individual sound.
And this style is very distinct. Very distinct.
It is. Very much so. It is. Well, Dr. Henry Jackson, I want to thank you so much for being a part of Real Talk One tonight. And
I have loved this. I really loved it.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to your book. So once your book is completed, you said the spring of next year, please let me know so I can bring you back so we can
sure will
announce it so people can purchase your book.
I sure will. I sure will.
Great. And I want to say thank you to everyone that is watching, those of you that are on YouTube and those that will watch the replay later. Thank you so much for being a part. And also, I want everyone to have a blessed Thanksgiving. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your family. And it's been real. I will be back on next week. I will be back until, I know my schedule is booked all the way up until January, almost February now. So I thank God for what he is doing with Real Talk. So I'm going to say good night to everyone. Henry, you can stay right there. And good night to everyone. Enjoy your family. And I will see you again. The comments are still coming in too. But good night to everyone.
Good night.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. We hope you have been informed and inspired by the conversation on this evening. You can contact Cindy Barber on Instagram at CindyRBarber04. You can email her at ms.cindybarber@gmail.com or the YouTube channel at Cindy R. Barber. You can also contact Cindy about having your event advertised on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Cindy looks forward to you joining her next week for another informative conversation right here on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Until then, have a great evening.